Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily. Sorry about yesterday, no recording. It kind of had some. So. There we go. Man, they're pulling it right away.
Morning, hi.
I think I'll just hold here. Looks like they're battling it out a little bit at 12. I'm thinking they might try pushing it back up to 19.
HEPH333 said long-term buyers will definitely see it as a bargain here.
That was real fast for a 1400 to print.
Fran said can't scalp this area because you never know where the bottom is. HEPH333 said I scratched my 0.50 short because of some large buyers. 125 was the target. Fran said volume isn't big enough to call it a real trend. HEPH333 said there was my trade for the day and I wussed out. Fran said 3x volume above on the ZN.
Order filled.
So we're off to the races. No news till 9.
It looks like we're getting a little bit of interest here at 8, 9, but I'm skeptical. That was an awfully strong washout overnight.
Yeah, I think we're looking for this 0405 area. The last one down was 29 to 04. Which was when? 21st of June. Below that's all the way down to 5509, 5511 area. So we'll start with 04. We had those naked point of control down here at 01.
Yeah.
It is quite the washout though from yesterday.
Yeah.
We closed at 56.29.
It looks like the move from yesterday, all of those positions got washed out, but we're not lower than we were last week.
No, we haven't even hit the midpoint of last week yet. 56 even for that.
What I'm worried about is you start getting some more negative cumulative delta volume here and then And you're gonna start with steamroller. Still holding it though.
Surfboom set GM all. Fran said. Fran said.
Order filled.
Fran said 16 is the number on the ZB. Fran said 5-day merge. Fran said somewhat thick buying tail O/N.
Here's your 05.
No, it's 4 I'm looking for.
Oh, it's 04?
Yep.
Hmm.
04 to begin with. We got that naked point of control at 01. And last week's midpoint, 56 even.
I don't know. There sure is a lot of interest around this spot.
Yep.
But maybe I'm just...
We had last week, Thursday and Friday, the low of the day session was 56.05. They couldn't break it.
Right.
So far, it's the same low today.
I'm wondering if maybe my perception is just off because yesterday was pretty slow, relatively speaking, and so now I'm seeing all these 600, 500 prints all over the place and being like, well,
We're showing size at 04 at the moment, so somebody must like it for a target.
yeah. And there's some at 156, and there's some bigger targets in the node.
Fran said. Fran said next support levels down around 28 and then 12. Fran said I'd rather see a bounce here though.
Order filled.
That's 4 ticks.
Fran said new HVN at 08.
Probably if we get one more, it'll bust out on cumulative delta here.
Fran said if it holds, maybe a bounce.
That node, that 08. I remember yesterday when we were way up at, where was it? 06. Took forever to trade 9,000 contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And my theory was, we go up, there wasn't a whole lot of interest. We go back down, we should see buying interest.
Jiggy MC said today
That's
looks
kinda
like
what
it will
this
be
looks
one
like.
of those days with massive volume, very hard to read and moving nowhere. Fran said 5YR auction today.
There's a retest of the overnight low at 10. This 5-tick pullback.
Fran
See if it
said you
holds
have to
now.
watch for diminishing volume for a good buying tail.
I think if we hit 11, we
Jiggy
push through
MC
11,
said Yellen
then
today and next
we
week
should probably
holidays,
see 18.
messing things up. Fran said 5,000 went off on ZN at 125 BUY side. Fran said true. Jiggy MC said 58K traded between 12.5 and 13.
Order filled.
Jiggy MC said in a 2-tick range. Jiggy MC said not good. Fran said not much in the news either, so not a lot of reason for traders to dive in. Fran said I hate days like this. Jiggy MC said yeah. Jiggy MC said will market be open Monday? Fran said slow grind. Fran said I don't know, we'll check, maybe half day. Jiggy MC said only 3 trading days next week, which means that many will take the entire week off. Jiggy MC said probably one of the slowest weeks of the year next week.
Five minutes to news.
Fran said looks like market is open on Monday. Fran said early close. Fran said 1 p.m. estate. Fran said ISM and PMI on Monday too, which is too bad. HEPH333 said battle in ZN here. Fran said yeah, big volume too. Jiggy MC said volume will be non-existent, so nothing to trade that day.
I take it that means the news was bad? Yes, it was. 5.7 versus 5.9. It's not a huge deal. And consumer confidence number at 8 will be.
HEPH333 said okay. Zilch for the day for me. I have some other work to do that actually pays. I have a feeling it is just going to digest this area for a while. HEPH333 said lately, we haven't had good action without big news. But the high volume can at least be good for scalping ticks as long as you don't get caught in a sweep. Fran said yup, need shot in the arm to get this moving. Fran said probably a good time to take a vacation. HEPH333 said it hit my target of 120, so I have no bias now.
I think this could be an important bar. Plus 1151
Fran said good.
on a 5-minute chart with a red bar. So we're going to get a winner one way or the other. Plus the 1-minute chart has a very large
HEPH333 said
delta
frustrating
spike.
when you call it, but
So
fail to
far hasn't
capitalize on the
resulted in
move.
anything, so crucial area.
Fran said I won't risk scalping this. HEPH333 said I don't expect much will happen before the Dove TS at noon.
I don't know, it doesn't look like anybody wants to commit here.
I think they are committing. It's called down.
Now they're pulling.
Just need to break that triple bottom at 5.
That's it right there.
Yep. Target 1. Now we're looking for 01 and last week's midpoint of the buck.
It's just like, what are they waiting for?
We're waiting for crude to stop selling at the open. Traded into the 42s yesterday.
Order filled. Order canceled.
I know, you still want it to go up to 18.
Yep.
You're here on the wrong day.
Well, so, where is this thing?
It's going to be buyers in front of that size of the buck.
Order filled.
Okay.
Trader said today is perfect day for positional play.
Okay, what?
Oh, there was a stop run going back the other way there.
We gotta test 5 like we did 10, now that we broke it.
Fran said how? Trader said how? Trader said don't you see the straight vertical line? Trader said it's been trending down all day long. Trader said every rally has been sold, it's frustrating though since I failed to make anything of it. Trader said as is usual with these days, it seems these are harder to trade than small days. Fran said well would have been nice to sell during the European session.
Order cancelled.
Trader said in hindsight these look like the easies to trade but in reality it's the other way around. Fran said agree because you can't see into the future, it's ex post facto. Trader said Seth, I find the scalping easier than positional trades. Fran said that's why I prefer scalping. Fran said in, out, get it done. Trader said yeah, I find myself liking that better. Trader said you just have to stop thinking that you could take 100 ticks on these days, it's impossible. Fran said that's the myth that new traders always buy into, just follow the ma. Trader said it looks so attractive, just one positional trade, all the way down, 100 ticks plus. Trader said day traders are usually demolished during such days. Trader said especially bottom pickers. Trader said, well, today it didn't matter, you could short wherever you wanted during the past 4 hours. Trader said, but of course you guys were asleep then. Trader said, that is the reason day traders get killed on these days. Fran said, that's why I wouldn't scalp this area. Fran said, it's a sucker's game. Trader said, positional traders get lucky today if it doesn't retrace. Fran said, just wait it out until there's some reversal. Fran said, it has to retrace, someone has to take profit at some point in time. Fran said, might be big stops down here as well. Trader said, reversals are actually the hardest thing to trade, better stay away from them. Fran said, I like the reversals. Fran said, the order flow really supports scalping reversals. Trader said, I like them too, but they are day trader killers. Fran said, that's what I use. Fran said, best days for me are range days with nice swings.
You got negative delta building all through this 2-tick range.
Operator said Bund has big volume today. Fran said. Operator said looking at the reason for this drop, I think it's just gonna range for the rest of this day.
Order filled.
Operator said with a very small pullback for shorts that covering.
Order filled.
Trader said, yeah, it's like an unstoppable train. Trader said, I can't say anything about the US session as I don't trade it too often.
I don't know, that looks like a lot like what just happened
Trader said,
again.
I can assure you Bund is not gonna retrace.
That looks a lot like just what happened again.
It was,
Can you translate that into English?
they traded up to 05. There was a bunch of buy orders that weren't able to come through that for a second, and then 500 dumped 04 and 03. If this is exactly like before, then what we'll see is the offers at 04 build, and then those people aren't able to get filled in still.
I guess the E-mini's not reacting well to the $2.7 billion lawsuit against Google. Antitrust fine. 3.5 point drop in the open. Wow, what?
Order cancelled.
That's just a big fine.
Yeah.
IQ said last swing 36T. IQ said ZB.
You didn't read about that?
I didn't check this. Probably should have, huh?
Anyway, the first 5 minutes of the E-mini are down 5.5 points. High to low. It's just 3.5 points.
Fran said you need a lot of patience to trade treasuries.
Earlier when I said that crude was starting to rally off of its lows, it reversed about 2 minutes later and went straight down and put in a new low. Now it looks like it's trying to rally again.
Something I find really strange about crude right now is stuff that I'm reading, both in the news, like on CNBC, trading on the forums. It looks like a lot of people are trying to bottom pick oil here now. Stay away from it for a while.
Time to go to our 01 in the buck here in the bond. Oh, even he slipped a little more. 4.25 points.
IQ said time for a reversal to upside, big opening gap to close. IQ said i.imager.com. Fran said nice chart. IQ said on Dome big NRS at 02200.
This is a little bit more like what I would expect to see before a drop. I guess that means that it's probably not going to do it.
Why? Because you think it's going to happen, it won't.
Yep, exactly.
I'm not sure I could agree with the terminology before a drop. On a 5-minute chart, there's only been 5 bars in the last 5 hours close above the 8 EMA. On the 10-minute chart, there's been 0. And on the 30-minute chart, there's been 0. I'll call that a continuing drop.
Yeah. I like to call it loading, and that's what the Axia Futures guys call it. Settled on fine. There's a lot of people that are waiting to get filled.
Order filled.
Bring your kid to work day?
Often in the background.
Is he in school yet?
Oh, school has been started out picking until like August.
I don't think they're done here until this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You must have a like the year-round track. Oh, there you go.
Here's the 01. Now we're looking for the buck. And then we're looking for 29.
And was my target. Skeptical on 20.
On a 15-minute basis, I got an unfinished auction at 31.
See, this right here is where so some guys in the Discord channel were talking about this. Just scalping really short gets really frustrating because there we had the break, but what did it do? It traded at 01. And right now at this moment I feel pretty confident that we're going to go and see that single printed. Yet if you were short and scalping, you only pick there. Sitting here going, oh no, it's pulling back. Did I miss it? It's over. Do I need to, get out now?
An unfinished auction in the note at 126.10 half. Trading 126.11s. Yeah, just touched it. This one below that isn't until 126.04 half.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Size there at 126. Eight, some sort of volume node.
Got news at 10.
It's going to be a good number.
Jiggy MC said, but that's because you trading a breakout. Fran said, geez, how low is this thing going to go?
$118.9
Fran
versus
said, are you short?
116.1. Oh man, now I'm seeing loading in the note. That's so often.
Order cancelled.
There comes our 29 you weren't believing in.
I know. Well, okay, so here's why I was so skeptical about 29.
We took out the unfinished auction at 31.
You get that longer term chart. There was way back where was on my chart here, there's a gap.
Nope.
It just opened up a lot higher, and then that was the low what they tested. So I kind of feel like if we break 29, then we gotta fill that gap. 520.
That's what I said in the morning notes. Take a look at those naked point of controls.
Yep.
We had one down here at 01. That's Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and we had 28, 29 lows. Then we had those 2 5 lows. So
Right.
28, 29. And then we got that next point of control at 21.
That was actually enough. That could be a little maybe I shouldn't be trading this because this is going to be very, very bad for my was worried that this would happen, and it's playing out like worst case scenario. Below that. Below that, we've got to go back to like that's like the point of control there. I really need to put that indicator back on.
Jiggy MC said typical Fed day, ZN getting too thick.
The bigger thing I'm worried about is right now, or at least since the Fed meeting, the market has basically been saying, okay, Federal Reserve. And they've been betting against the Fed. But, if we come back to that level that we were at for the meeting, then that means that trade or all ruse or that, and then you're going to see a big rise in rates.
Jiggy MC said now it's a crapshoot, nothing worse to read order flow than thick bid/ask columns, in ZN, when all prices get above 5k, forget it.
Yo. Ooh. Out here at 29.
Order filled. Order canceled.
What do you think? You think it's got another leg in it? Now that I've gotten out at 29, it's probably going to take another leg lower to 20.
Fran said nice trade, Seth.
Oh man, 7,000 at 120. And thousand. Seen 10,000 on FOMC days. That's pretty crazy for a day like, even for a day like this.
Order filled. Order canceled. Order filled.
Wow.
Order canceled.
So, Bill, what do you think of this most recent action? Is this the sort of thing that you just stay away from, or?
Order filled.
Hey, Bill. You must be down in the kitchen making breakfast and dancing.
No, I was going to ask him if he's getting any closes above his ADME yet.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Nothing on the 30, nothing on the 10.
So yours still says sell, 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 huh?
Last time there was a close above the ADMA on a 5-minute chart was 8:50 Eastern time. So even if I had a close above, I think I would wait for a second test of a low, because after a move like this,
Right.
this isn't going to stop on a dime. And trying to fade this move would be, I think, very dangerous. So even if I had a signal to buy, which I don't, I would still wait for a second test of a low.
That's kind of more what I was.
Order filled.
Makes a lot of sense. It was definitely when we touched what 26 and then we came back up to 29. There was a lot of volume spikes going both ways, and I was wondering what you do in that kind of a spot. But I thought for sure that once we got above 29 that it's kind of
Oh, on a 1-minute chart, sure. But look at your one. If you look at volume or buying and selling delta spikes on a 1-minute chart,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get the time right here so John doesn't call me out. At 10:25, you had a spike up, and there's been spikes up during the day. So what's going to follow it up?
Fran said scalping
Well,
long now, just one trade so far.
Minor buying delta spikes. Market goes sideways a little bit. You don't really know what's going to happen.
Right.
And then at 10:31, you get a selling spike that has zero follow through. So if you're going to attempt to scalp it short term, that's your clue that when a selling spike in a huge selling market doesn't even move the market a tick, that you're probably going up a little bit. Now, is it going to continue? I have no idea. But I would certainly like to see another test of the low with something similar where perhaps they try to hit the same level. You don't get a spike, it's half-hearted, and then it turns around and starts going up. To me, that the risk capital, that would be the kind of setup that I'd want to see if I was going to be a buyer. Now we have another buying spike, follow up that selling spike at 10:33. That had a 2-tick follow through so far. Now that's pulled back. So this is going to be kind of the telltale spot in my mind. And we're right at the 50 SMA on a 1-minute chart, which is, interesting, but doesn't tell me what to do either way. But if you're getting follow through on your volume spikes, that's probably the direction you're going to continue to go. It's when you have a delta volume spike with no follow through that it probably should jump more off the chart at you. So that would be my current take. But on a 10-minute chart, we haven't even reached We're about a tick away from reaching the ADMA. I'm sorry, on a 10-minute chart. On a 30-minute chart, you're probably 5, 6, 7 ticks away. On a 5-minute chart, you just hit it, closed right on it.
I think we might not be getting as much of a move as you'd expect because of the spread here. 10-year, it was 10,000 contracts sold into 10. They had a hard time pushing through it, but they did. So then they started attacking 9.5, and 8,000 contracts went through there. Then we came up, and that's when all of this crazy stuff in the bond started happening. I need to figure out a way to back test this, because earlier today I was thinking, okay, so from a market profile perspective, you'll get like, a buying tail at the bottom. That's an indication that, range extension is over and we're going to back up to whatever the last, but I thought that was kind of happening at 08 and wasn't even close.
Okay, you just had a doji with a gap down on a 1-minute chart with a delta selling spike. So if there's follow through here, you're probably looking at lower. So far there hasn't been. And you're halfway through the next bar and it's just a dash. So again, if you get a lower price on this bar that's forming on the 1-minute chart, that would be considered, in my mind, evidence that you're probably going to go lower, at least to test the low. But if there's no follow through, right now it's a dash with slight delta selling, then there's a better chance that you're going to go up from here. That's just the way I'm interpreting it.
Well, if it trades 27
and
there.
I'm not eating breakfast, I'm eating edamame, Johns. Just to clarify.
Trades 27 there, that would be one tick. And you would have a good clean sells 27.
And the 5-minute chart just had it opened above the ADMA, big selling bar, and a gap down on the next bar. So that does not look to me like the sellers have thrown in the towel or that profit taking is overwhelming the market.
Oh, and this is not action at 27 here is not acting like a one tick higher sort. Actually, and in 9.5, so we're the level side, ton of volume. Half is bid right. Big orders in it.
Well, if that were the case, it'd be a interesting setup because you would have then had a gap down to a doji, double bottom.
Yep.
But what follows would be very important. Obviously, doji is indecision, and this is on a 5-minute chart, so it's not the hectic 1-minute chart.
Well, the cumulative delta in the bond here is about as high as it was back at.
Well, that's an interesting observation, but in my mind, what happens on each individual bar is way more important than the cumulative.
Oh, okay.
That's my opinion because the cumulative is nice to know if they're accumulating or just distributing, but that could stop at any minute. Where the bar by bar is a little more,
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, recent. It's showing the conviction right at this moment in time, which to me is how I prefer to look at things.
Yeah, I think the problem with the cumulative delta that I've noticed is that um, it's really only super effective when somebody's gotten offsides. So like, we decide to break 26 here. Cumulative delta is saying that a bunch of people got long and are going to get washed out again. But it doesn't, it's not necessarily predictive as to whether or not we're going to go up or down. Touch that. Bottom, would it?
Of course, it would be. And the interesting thing on a 5-minute chart is the last bar closed as a doji. This bar gapped up, touched 26, and rejected the 2 ticks. So that would be an early indication of defense of that level and buying. You still haven't hit the ADMA,
Right.
and given the down move, once again, I think it would be, shall we say, unadvisable to be a buyer at this instant unless you're trying to catch an edge.
Right.
But if it actually showed some delta buying at this point and a little increased total volume and the close above the ADMA, it might be worth taking a shot, knowing that if the next bar closes back below the ADMA, you get out and you lose a couple ticks. Unless it comes back with vengeance and blows you out of the water. But you haven't seen that blow you out of the water type stuff for a while, so this is worth keeping an eye on. And this is, again, interpretation from a 5-minute chart, not a 1-minute chart.
Well, I think that there's a really good chance here that just trade around 20. I took a trade between, I did fade between 29 and 31 because I saw that there was a good chance. That was trade 156. Not very many contracts that kicked down, so that kind of says, you know, I don't think you're going to get like a reversal, you know. It's just going to be like, it's going to find balance somewhere around here, probably at 29.
The only comment I could make is trade what you see, not what you think.
Yeah, and then on the other side, there's not. I mean, maybe there's some signs, maybe that there's, but I don't see a sign that has enough edge. Seeing on mine because I use a different. I'm using of it briefly. I'm just saying, you went long. The reward long doesn't look very good right now. Well, now that's interesting. I just had like my one tick scalp signal that says you probably should have you buy 27 and sell 28. So then it did it, and you would have gotten filled on the entry. But now there's 1,000 being offered at 28. Now it's gone.
And now the 1 minute just gave you a delta buying spike
Yeah.
and a gap up on the next bar after 3 dojis. So again, a chance that this is turning around and going up. A chance.
Yeah. We're still not above that moving average.
No.
Print in the note. 9.5.
France said big cyber attack in Europe.
Any interesting. Glad I didn't take that one. Yeah, look, I think it's done. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for that was some good discussion there.